This is the Real Debrief, a safe space for veterans, sharing wins and losses. The Real Debrief on Dreamcatcher Radio. No fluff, no script, just real talk. Pull up a sandbag and strap yourselves in.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't fucking know either. I guess we learned not to do it again.
Yes, sir.
I'm fucked if I know what we did.
Yes, sir. It's hard to say.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Tonight on the Real Debrief, which is being aired today, Saturday, between 8 and 10 p.m. It's a different episode. I asked Caesar Storm, who I've personally met, a lovely chap, can talk for England, and has many stories to tell. And I said to him, do you fancy trying your own show out? And he said, yep, straight away. And he interviewed his first guest. I was the producer on this day. And I told him beforehand we need a pause for breaks. However, there was never a pause. And so I've had to insert some music randomly for the audience, listeners. And but it was good fun, and it was very interesting to hear the story that was told from his guest. Now, we've got Remembrance Sunday coming up. Obviously, well, it's tomorrow, isn't it? And I just want to say a little bit about it. The Real Debrief, I'll be honest, the reason why I started it is I wanted the public to understand what veterans go through and what a veteran's life is, both the positive and negative. We live in a world currently where things are beyond discombobulated. It really is. I was asking the question the other day to a very intelligent man, and I asked him this one simple question. And I say he's very intelligent because he's got degrees coming out all over the place. And he's very well spoken and very highly regarded. I said, when do you put the news on and see something positive? And I'm not joking. There was silence for about 5 minutes. It's wrecking his brains. And he said, you know what? I can't think of a single story. That's very telling, isn't it? So we are doing, Steve's organised a special episode on Sunday. So we're going to have silence on the radio station. But I just want us to think about this, about the silence, because it has meaning. Remembrance Day in the UK is more than just a date. And I'm not being melodramatic here, but it's a heartbeat, a moment when the past walks beside us. At the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, we remember the silence that followed the guns of World War One. And two. But we also remember the noise, the bravery, the sacrifice, the lives interrupted. I'm a massive history buff. I love history. It fascinates me a lot. We wear the poppies not just to glorify, well, not just, I didn't mean that, not to glorify war, but to honour peace. Sadly, things have gone very wrong in this world. But we're there to remember those who served, those who fell, and those also that came home carrying invisible wounds. And it's remembrance for also the living. I saw on the news yesterday a 100-year-old vet saying how horrified he is the state of our country. Veterans walk among us all the time, sometimes forgotten once the uniform comes off. Families who lost loved ones, communities shaped by conflict, resilience, and remembrance. This day matters because memory matters. Because freedom really isn't free. And something I reflect on is every name etched on a memorial was once a child, a sibling, a friend. Remembrance Day should never be forgotten. It's a bridge, I guess, between generations, between stories, between silence and song. Even school children craft poppies with care. So please take heed and pause. Be grateful for all those men and women. Just imagine what it would have been like during those times and what they must have went through and got through. Thank you. So today on the Real Debrief, good evening. Hope you all are well. Today we've got Caesar Storm, as he calls himself, and we've also got as guest Mark here. This is a first in terms of zero preparation, but basically both of them are veterans. They both know each other, and I said to you, Caesar, let's just go for it. So Caesar, it's over to you.
Yeah, cheers, brothers. Well, first of all, I just want to say a big thank you for Mark coming on the show. Mark, mate, how are you doing? It's been a while since I last
Yeah,
saw
it's
you.
been a long time, mate, hasn't it? I've been busy. I've been very busy. That's
Yeah,
all
it
I
has
can say.
been
I've been very busy. Not stop.
absolutely. I've seen on your Insta that you've been fairly busy, and there is a lot of people out there that know your background and know you already, but not everyone that listens to Dreamcatcher Radio is going to know your history or know you as a person. So this is an opportunity to get you on the radio and then just basically sell yourself and tell people exactly where you come from, what you've done, and what you hope to achieve. And that's basically what we're trying to achieve here. And I just want to highlight to everyone that's listening how much of a great guy you are. You're one of my inspirational friends that I've followed for such a while, and you inspire me so much so that I just I can't quit. I mean, you have that mentality of mind over body. I mean, you put your mind first. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do with your body, your mind is always there. As long as it's strong, everything else will follow. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly how I live my life. The way I see it is I will determine my outcome in whatever situation I'm in, and that always starts in the mind. Um, if you had bad days, it starts in the mind. So you've got to change the mindset. You've got to change the way you approach things. You might not be like my limitations stop me doing the most simplest things. Like tying shoelaces, doing a button up on a shirt. My limitations won't allow me to do that without getting frustrated. So I changed my complete mindset of, this is my way now. I need to learn my way instead of the normal way. And that's how I approached everything when it comes to challenges, events, titles, everything. It's just it's my way. I've got to do it my way. Like you see me do stones, right? You
Absolutely,
you
yeah.
can you can't tell me you've never seen anybody with one arm do a stone like that. So it's like that's my way. Do you know what I mean? You want to, like there'll be another person with a limitation in that in the arm where they'll do it their way. It might be similar, but it'll be their way of doing it. And that's just the way I live. I don't really, I don't know, I don't put limits on myself. So why should other people? basically.
Absolutely, yeah. Just one thing I want to highlight here is obviously not everyone can see what's going on behind the camera here. They can only hear you on the radio. So when you talk about limitations, just to give the audience exactly an understanding of what you mean by limitation, like explain your situation. You said one arm, so explain your physique at the moment. Like you're a big guy. Why you got limitations? What's going on?
So I joined the army, and in 2010, I was involved in an IED blast, which resulted in me losing the use of my right arm. And it took me a long, long time to get better, if that makes sense. I had that, like every sort of person who has a life-changing injury. I'm not going to let this beat me, and it did beat me, and it has to. That's the process. It has to beat you. It has to bring you down, and it has to put you in that level to when you realize, I can't do life how I used to. I've got to change. I've got to own it. I've got to adapt my life to my limitations. But people use that as terminology. I see this as a strength now, because you're the worst thing anybody can do to me or say to me is, you can't do this. Watch me. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? Don't say I can't do something, because I'll go out of my way to learn my way of doing it. And when growing up, so like coming from where I was as a frontline soldier to being a broken man, because that's what I was. I still suffer. I just don't allow it to overtake, if that makes sense. Which is a big part of my life. I want to try and eradicate that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And you know what? Like I said earlier, you've been an inspiration to me for a while, and I fully echo what you say. I mean, I've seen you firsthand where people say I can't do something, and you just prove them wrong. And it's thanks to people like you that have made me have the mindset I have. You've seen my background, you see where I've come from, and how I've adapted from over the years to how I am now. So. I just want to say a big thank you to you, mate, because you're such a huge inspiration to me, and amongst others as well. But what I want to do is I want to just go back to the beginning, really, when you first started your life and how you ended up joining the army. What was the reason why you joined the military and leading up to where you are now?
It was the only way I can put that as a narrative really is I couldn't wait to get away from the people I was living with when I was younger. They weren't very nice, put it that way. And I always knew that I wouldn't last very long on the right side of the law if I had stayed. So I thought, I've got to do it. It doesn't matter where I go. I was a delinquent kid, didn't go to school, all the naughty stuff that you were doing. I thought, no, I need to get away from everything that's here. So I literally walked into um, a recruiting office back in the day. They did my oath, and that was me. I was in. And I think for the first 5 years of my military career, I think I was drunk. But it was just like a realization of, this is what you do, this is how you get it on, and that's me. It was more about escaping from where I was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. And I know a little bit of your history anyway from the fact that we were both friends. But again, obviously the listeners don't fully understand where you're from. But tell me your time in the military. Like what cap badge did you join? And tell me one of your most fondest memories in the
So
military.
I joined the Cheshire Regiment, 22nd Cheshire Regiment. We amalgamated to one Mercian in 2006, and that was family. That was all family. That's all the family I needed. It was like we'd look after each other. They'd look after me. We went everywhere together. We went Iraq, Afghan. You know what I mean. You knew these lads inside and out. And then when after the 5 years of me being drunk, then I thought, you know what, it's time for me to crack on with my career. So I ended up getting to full screw and leading my own men in Afghan. And I had all the rebels in Afghan. I had all more because the best soldiers in the world are rebels. People that don't like being in camp, people that get
Yeah,
in trouble for fighting. They're my sort of people every day. And they're the ones that you go to Afghan with, and they're the ones that you want
it's
to bring
probably
home
why
and
we
fight
get on.
for. Yeah.
Tell me where we get on.
So do you know what I mean? It's more about having the right sort of people to have your back as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was Chess's, then Mercian, and then unfortunately in 2010 I was hurt. So yeah, it was
What
they
deployment
looked
was
after
that?
me. Say again, sorry.
What deployment was that?
That was Headache 11.
In Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a very good place, Afghanistan. But what was the most fondest memory that you had though in the military?
Pretty much.
Being drunk.
I love taking all my lads to Kenya because they loved it. I beasted them every day. They were mowing at me. They didn't sleep, they didn't eat, but it was all good fun. And
Oh man,
the places I've been, I would go back to the Falklands. I absolutely adored the Falklands. It was my cup of tea. It was barren. It was empty. You had to be by yourself. That was just me all over.
yeah. I mean, I never had the luxury of going to the Falklands. I mean, if you want to call it luxury, but I didn't get the opportunity to go to Falklands. But Kenya did, and I love Kenya. Being in the Army Air Corps as a recruitment flying around, and to me, it was like the real life Lion King. You know, it was amazing seeing the scene from the sky.
Well,
But
it's when you get dropped off on a helicopter into a Lions then that you realise you've got to move pretty fast. So yeah,
yeah,
it was the realisation of the real Lion King, definitely. But these cats will eat you if they seen you. So it was one of them. And then we got chased by, I think we got chased by a herd of elephants because one of the lads fired a few blanks at a baby, and that was it. It was hell on. So it was like, let's jump up a tree, let's
no,
get out
you
of the
know what's
way.
something? I was told because I used to go for a run all the time with my oppo, and we used to carry a sidearm, and they said if you ever come across a line, don't fire at the line, just fire it in the air, it'll scare them off. And
Yeah, with the
look,
ground in
thankfully
front of
we
it.
didn't have to do that, but we came across the line, but they just left us alone. But that's one of the things you get told is never shoot at the animal because it's your worst decision to make. But yeah, I
But,
definitely get that.
but
But
no,
how long do you spend in Kenya?
I've spent about a good. I think I've been there twice now. So what's that? 7 month, 8 month.
Yeah,
So we did the because we were doing all the OBTAG training over there and everything.
yeah. Op-tag training being what
So
exactly?
basically,
Obviously,
you
I
go
know. I
through.
just people don't know that.
Yeah. So it's basically you
Yeah.
go through a climate which is similar to the one you're going to go and do operations in. So they try and match the climate or around the environment best they can. So Kenya's red hot, Afghan and Iraq's dead hot. So you know what I mean?
Exactly that.
It sort of gets your
Yeah.
body used to it. And the fighting style over there is a little bit different. You got to change the way you operate. Obviously, you're fighting in the Falklands. It's very conventional. You're fighting in Kenya, then it's very modern day warfare. So it was one of them you have to get the lads ready for.
Yeah, so how many deployments have you been on then? Like you've been to Kenya, you've been to Falklands, you've been to Afghanistan.
Iraq, Belize, Canada, Estonia, um, everywhere,
So
America, everywhere,
quite
everywhere.
a few then.
Normally, the
So
saying is every. I can't say that word on the radio, can I?
hey, so where you are, mate?
Every shithole on the planet I've been.
Yeah. I mean, this
Pretty
is no
much.
holds barred, but you say what you want, freedom of speech.
Exactly. Well, no, it's all good. But
But the question is, how many places have you been that's not related to the army though? Like when you're on the holiday and stuff.
quite a few. I've been Spain,
Oh,
Egypt,
right, okay.
Tenerife, but there's not me going to Egypt. I'm still on edge. Me going to, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not a holiday really. It's just
Yeah.
we got to
Yeah,
be.
true. True. But the reason why I asked that is because I've been on more deployments around the world, more countries
Then
visited with
you
the
have on holiday
military
with your family.
than I
I
have
know
on
some people
holiday.
like that. I've never been abroad without being on tour. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first time I went on a plane was to Afghanistan. I'm like, oh, fucking hell, this is the new experience. I was like 26-year-old.
But no.
But
Oh, Northern Ireland was nice. I like Northern Ireland. It was like being home.
I didn't get the chance to go to Northern Ireland because the operation had cancelled. It had come to an end. And I
Yeah, yeah.
put my name down to go. And when they said, oh, the operation finished, I was like, no, I ain't interested. I'm not getting a medal, so I don't want to go to that shithole.
Well, no, it's lovely,
Well,
mate.
enough of
Lovely.
me. I'm sure it is. So, obviously, how long did you serve in the military then before you obviously
15
had a
years.
medical discharge? 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
Wow. So how do you feel just like coming to the end after 15 years? It must have been
Yeah, like,
right.
to be fair, I was in a way lucky and in a way unlucky.
Mm,
Because, like I said, I got hit in 2010, and the regiment weren't going to get rid of me very easily. So they sort of hid me for 4 years. And
really?
I ran the training wing for them and tried to get on other deployments, but unfortunately, I was more mentally broken than I was physically, so they wouldn't allow me to go. And it was some crowy officer that didn't know who I was. He tried to pap tell me because he wanted to clean the regiment up. When I found that out, I got put in his office with a sergeant major and a colour bloke, and I was telling him who I am. So it was very different, that conversation. And then when I came to the med board, I couldn't get away from it. Then I got discharged in 2014, and that was the scary part for me. I didn't know anything else. I was good at what I did, and the help wasn't all that good. I got it wasn't really. It was a lot of learn by mistakes. Um, like I had a young family. All I wanted to do was provide, and I couldn't do that anymore. And it sort of re-broke me again, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
I get that.
so I've got broken. Find my place in the regiment again, and then I got broken again. So it's like, where do I, where do I start here? Where do I go from? So I basically, at the time, I weren't sleeping at all. I'd go about 3 days before my body would crash. But I got my teaching and assessing and other qualifications, which should have took me 9 months, but I did them in three. Because I didn't sleep, I just carried on doing it for 40, 72 hours. And I ended up being qualified, and I started teaching, and then I got my PT calls, and then that was it. I sort of realised, I've got to make these changes, not me. And a man who was in Phoenix House, which was a Health for Heroes recovery centre in Catterick, and a man called Mark Airy. Like I can't do this attitude again. I'm not doing this. I can't do this. I shouldn't have to. I had a proper victim attitude, if that makes sense. And he brings in this lad who has got one arm, no legs, one arm with 4 digits on. And he was a triathlete. And I'm looking at this kid and I'm thinking, how on earth are you doing that? And I'm sat here moaning to you saying I can't do nothing. And you know what? That was the biggest switch in my head as possible. It's like, you know what? He's made them choices to do it. So guess what? I've got a scratch compared to this kid. So that was it. I went from I can't do it to watch me. And that was the biggest change in my life. That was probably the most predominant change and realization that the only thing that's ever going to stop me from doing anything is me. And so that was it. And then started training for an Ironman. God knows how many marathons I did in prep. God knows how many bike rides in prep. And the Ironman, if you don't know, is a 2.2 mile swim. I know I didn't swim in circles. Followed by a 112-mile bike ride, and then followed by a full marathon at the end. So it was an hard day, and we did it as a team. So I remember finishing the run, turning around, going back out, and bringing the lads in that were behind me. So in total, I must have done about 40 odd mile on a run, and that was it. That was the biggest thing, because fitness for me back then was therapy, because none of the therapies worked for me, none of them. And I know I shouldn't say that, but for me it didn't work. And for people, some people it does. Some people it works amazingly, but for me it doesn't. My therapy is going in the gym and beating myself to within an inch of my life. So that explains the physique now.
Yeah, so wow, that's impressive. Just one person seeing them a disadvantage compared to you is change your whole mindset. And
Oh
that's all
yeah,
it takes. Yeah, just you're just seeing someone a little bit less fortunate than you, and then they're doing really well, and then you just like change your whole mindset completely. And you've achieved so much. Like I've never done an Ironman. I've never tried to do an Ironman. Never even thought about doing an Ironman, but I like you've seen yourself. I like challenging myself all the time. But it can't be easy to change that mindset when you're in such a sort of like down, depressing mood, feeling sorry for yourself and having life taking everything away from you. I get that, but just that one little switch, and I say the same thing to people, is if you just change one thing in your life, you have a massive impact on the rest of your life moving forward.
Oh, definitely.
And that's what you've done. You've changed it.
Yeah, I tried to commit suicide in that time frame. I had something happen within the family which basically destroyed me more than being blown up and my arm being never being able to use again. And I've actually started writing a book, and the name of that book is "How the Hell Am I Still Here?" And that's not an easy phrase to say, because if I explain, which I'm not going to do on the radio, but if I explained everything what I'd been through in that time period, you would say, how are you still here? Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what you would say. And that's what I've called it. And I might send you a copy it's a still draft, so I'll send you a copy so you can have a read and you'll understand.
Yeah, I'll have a look. Yeah, man, I'm actually in the process of writing my own book as well. So it's fascinating how people have gone through such a traumatic time in their lives, and they try to put it in a positive by putting it into a book for people to learn their experiences and trying to find some sort of common ground with it and relate to it. And that's what I was trying to do with my book. So I hear you, I get what you're saying, and I think it's very powerful for you to do that, because you need to get your story out there, because there's so many people that are suffering and struggling with their own mental state of mind. If they read your book, it's going to change their life. They're going to see, like you did when you saw that guy with no legs and one arm, it just changed your mind. Just by reading your book or even my book, it will change their mind slightly, because not everyone's going to see someone with no legs and one arm, but they might see a book on the shelf, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's different ways to get out there. Yeah.
My book was more of a I'm sick and tired of being angry, and all this is lives rent free in my head. And the way I see this is I'm going to write it all down. I'm going to release it. And it's not so much as I just want to help people that were in my situation. And it's like, if I can stop someone from hurting themselves or taking their own life just by reading this book, then it's worth reading. It's worth writing.
So as an ex-convicted, have you got any coloured pictures in your book?
Of course I have. Hey, I'm more educated than you will ever be. You know that much. Okay? You don't even go there with me.
I am not okay. I'm barely getting by. I'm losing track of days, losing sleep at night. I am not okay. I'm hanging on the rails. So if I say I'm fine, just know I learned to hide it well. I know I can't be the only one who's holding on for dear life. But God knows, I know, when it's all said and done, I'm not okay, but it's all gonna be alright. It's not okay, but we're all gonna be alright. I woke up today, I almost stayed in bed, had the devil on my back and voices in my head. Some days it ain't all bad, some days it all gets worse. Some days I swear I'm better off laying in that dirt. I know I can't be the only but it's all gonna be alright. It's not okay, but we're all gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. I know one day we'll see the other side. The pain will wash away in a holy water tide, and we all gonna be alright. I know I can't be the only one who's holding on for dear life, but God knows, I know, when it's all said and done, I'm not okay, but it's all gonna be alright. It's not okay, but we're all gonna be alright. I'm not okay, but it's all gonna be alright.
Well, I've got some
You
coming
use
pictures.
crayons and I use felt tips is a bit different.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with crayons. I eat them afterwards.
But no,
No, that's great, mate. That's really good. So when are you looking to get this book out then?
I'm not rushing it. It needs to be
No.
done properly. It needs to be done right.
Yeah.
And I need to be careful writing it in case I have a breakdown or a trigger or so there's a few parts of it that I'm actually going to do while I'm with someone who I trust, just in
Yeah.
case, because I suffer from emotional dissociation. So basically, if I get too emotional, I'll fit to the point where I'll black out. It's like not a seizure, it's more of just a blackout. But my whole body tenses up when I come round. I feel like I'm back in Afghan. I feel the heat, feel all the the smells, and I'm not in a good place. I should be approached with caution, if that makes sense. So I have to be really
Yeah.
careful about what sort of emotions I let out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, I've gone through, well, you know yourself how much I've gone through, but I've come out the other end now. I'm sort of like learning to deal with my triggers. They're not affecting me as much as they used to, which is good because, like you, therapy doesn't work for me. The gym works for me.
Yeah,
It's got me in a good positive mindset. I've changed physically over the course of 7 to 8 months, and now mentally. And I try to enforce positivity in everything I do, despite what challenges I face. And the thing is I say to people, you're always going to get challenges in life, no matter what it is. It could be good or bad, but you're always going to get challenges. But if it's out of your control, you should never stress over it. Just let it
no.
go by. It's
I,
just a storm that's gone past. Once it's gone past, it'll clear up.
see, people see you say the storm will always pass. The peace is when the storm has passed because the storm washes it all away.
Mm.
That's what I believe. So it's not like, oh, there's the calm before the storm. No, it's just you want the storm so you can wash away all the stuff that you don't want. So like I said, I try and see the positive now in most situations. And even if I can't control that situation and I'm being forced into it, then I will retaliate how I seem fit, but it will be controlled. So it's like my calmness, my peace is what I'll fight you for.
Yeah.
No one's playing with that. I don't want to go back to being the way I was. I don't want to go back 10, 15, 10, 10 years. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to stand where I am and be peaceful where I am. And if I will fight for that peace, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. But you've been out a while now. You're 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah,
You've been
well,
out.
yeah, 10 years. 11.
So, yeah, a long time to be adjusting to civilian life, and now you've adjusted well, would you say?
Yeah, well, considering I live in probably one of the biggest military garrisons in UK, then well, it is the
Mm.
biggest garrison in the UK. I'm not really suited anywhere else, so it's normal for me to be around it all still. So, um, yeah, it was just a calming place to be. But I don't refer to myself as I'm no longer military, if that makes sense. I'm still, I'm a veteran, still
Yeah,
have a
veteran.
banter,
Yeah,
still have that, but
yeah.
I'm no longer a part of the military, if that makes sense. Even though I am, if that makes it's weird to get the point across.
No, I get it. I get it. No, I get it.
Instead of wishing
So
I was back in all the time, that makes
yeah,
you bad. I know I've accepted I'm not going back in, if that makes sense.
yeah. Would you obviously if you didn't have the issues that you got going on with your arm, and they asked you to join back up, would you join back up?
I would have to think about it.
Okay.
I would not even have to think about it. Now, saying that, the situation I'm in now, with my life, then I probably would have to think about it because it's not just my decision. Do you know what I mean? It's not just my selflessness. It's just not, I've got to be able to think about what would that to do to other people in my life.
Yeah, and I get it. So what are your plans at the moment then? What are you currently working on?
So for the last, uh, I think it's last 5 years, I've been competing in disabled strongman, and disabled Highland Games. I've won pretty much every year. So I'm currently, for about another 2 weeks, I'm currently the world's strongest disabled man. But in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, the Worlds are taking place again in Texas. I obviously couldn't get there this year, so I'm going to lose the title that way. But that's just the way it is. I'd rather spend 3 grand on my kids at Christmas than spend it on a ticket to go to Texas. I'm England, Britain's strongest disabled man. 5 years. Got that ticket. You've been to a few of them.
Have?
So yeah, it's just one of them things. But for the last 4 years, well, this will be the 4th year, I have done something quite psychotic in a way. People have called it. I've deadlifted for 24 hours, um, to raise awareness for suicide prevention, and it's happening this year on the 27th of December at 11 o'clock. And this year I've made it more of a competition. So it's like there's categories, there's got individual category, the different weight categories you can go into. So you got 50, 75, 100, 130, 160, and you can lift that weight as much as you like in 24 hours. I'm going for around 380,000 kilo this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so last year I got just over 200,000. This year I'm going for 380,000 kilo.
That's
And
impressive,
then,
man.
there's other categories in there as well. So you got the team category. So you can go on a team of 5, whatever the team of 5 lift. That's what your total is. And then the last category is a gym category. So if your gym signs up to the Lift for Life, any one of your members can come in, lift a weight, and it gets added to the gym total at the end. And I thought this year it's more about promoting the positive effects of having a community that talk to each other. So I picked a charity called Andy's Man Club. They they bring men together. They get them to talk, and that stops the inevitable from happening. So this year will be the 4th year running, and it's got bigger every year. I'll be surprised if we don't hit over 3 million kilo this year. I'll be surprised if we don't. That's just off the numbers I've got at the minute. So I've been a busy boy. When I say busy, I've not stopped. I'm currently doing 3 jobs plus doing this Live for Life. So when I say to you, I've not stopped, I've not stopped. And I'm at a competition this weekend as well. So I'm the first champions, strongest disabled strongman champions. So I'll be competing there in Birmingham at the Fit Expo. So that'll be a good day. Well, good day, couple of days.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, I would have been there, but little one's not very well. She's in hospital.
Yeah,
But
I understand that.
yeah, we'll talk offline on that. But just talk about the world's strongest disabled man. Now, I have mentioned that you are a world's strongest disabled man, and again, at the beginning of the show, I did say that you're an inspirational friend of mine. But how many times have you been the world's disabled strongest man?
Dreamcatcher Radio.
Dreamcatcher Radio is about capturing and creating dreams through music, chat, and debate. Empowering expression, enriching society. A go-to place for unsigned musical talent. A radio station which listens to its audience. Free speech, vibrant, engaging. Stream worldwide 24/7. Events, competitions, promotions. Always keen to have a listening ear. Contact us. hello@dreamcatcherradio.com.
Dreamcatcher Radio.
Go.
So the question I want to ask, Mark, is you've been the world's strongest disabled man, but how many times have you been the world's strongest disabled man?
4 times, bro. 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're 4 times world's strongest disabled man and 5 times Britain's strongest man.
And England, 3 times England's strongest disabled man, yeah.
England 3 times. Oh, is that a different category then?
Different comp.
Wow. So I've been to one of your competitions in my local area. Are you likely to come back south?
I think we changed the location for Britain's now. I think we do it in a university in London. I can't think what the name of it is now. Yeah, we were just there not long ago. So yeah, we normally have. So the Fit Expo is where we normally do England's, which is either in Manchester or Birmingham. I'm at Birmingham on the 2nd and 1st. The 1st and the 2nd for disabled champions. That's at the Fit Expo this year. And then normally we have an end of year. So my end of year is the deadlift, the lift for life. So that's my end of year. And then hopefully I'm going to be off to Iceland in February to go and do over where most of the games were made, really. It's Iceland, in it. So it's a good place to be.
So that lift for life then, where's that come from? Is that something that you made, or is that like
so I come up with this mad idea 4 years ago, and it was something that I wanted something to actually look on and go, wow, that's unreal. That's that's a 24-hour event, and that's probably one of the like the hardest or psychotic ones I've ever heard of. And so the first year it happened, I did it by myself. And I had nobody there with me. Well, I had a support team with me, and people came and see me, but I had nobody else lifting with me. And it was hard. Like my body shut down nearly rang an ambulance. I had to wait. The ambulance stood back up and started lifting again. So it was just one of them triggers for me. So I thought, nah. And then each year it's progressively got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like now I've got an immense amount of athletes doing it this year. I've got Wales' strongest man doing it. I've got athletes in the 105, the under 105, the 90s, the opens. There's going to be a lot, but anybody can do this. I've also got friends that are not into lifting, but they're doing this with a little bit of training from myself, so I don't want people to hurt themselves. But anybody can actually do this. It's not about lifting the big weights. Like, no, everyone thinks you got to go and compete against me. No, you haven't. It's more about taking the time. Now, the story or the mission behind it is, if you've ever met somebody that's suicidal, the amount of weight that person carries all day, every day, enough to actually make that decision to end their life, I would much rather stand there for 24 hours and lift as much weight as I possibly can, just to show people that there is people out there that can talk, that you can talk to, that they can talk to. Doesn't have to be someone can be a complete and utter stranger, but there are people out there, and it's not. At that point, all it takes is one person to listen, and that person won't do it. They won't go out. They won't go through it.
I'll definitely echo that,
So
mate, because I've seen it firsthand, and I've trained with you, and oh my God, you beasted me in the gym, and I like to train, but you're an unbelievable machine, and yeah, so I definitely echo exactly what you're saying there, and it's great that you do this, and it's great that you've put this together, and now it's starting to expand. There's people from all over the nation coming collectively to take part in something what you
well,
created.
it's not just England that we're doing it in this year. So because I'm of who I am and what I do for competing wise, I've met some amazing people. The deadlift now, the Lift for Life challenge now is happening in Canada and Germany. Um, I was trying to get America involved, but the people that I asked were just too busy, which is understandable. It's this time of year. But a good friend of mine, Angus Hillsley, he's taken over Canada. We're in the army. He should be in a Scottish regiment, so he's still British Army. But he's moved over to Canada, and now he's running a Live for Life over there. What he believes in is exactly the same as what we do. Fitness is key for mental health. He runs his own personal fitness business over there, where he solely concentrates on first responders, veterans, people that would suffer from a trauma, and that's what he's doing. And then you got Jan Nicholas. He's from Germany. He's a similar sort of injury to we're in the same category. He's still got the use of his arm, but it's very weakened. And yeah, he's running it in Germany. So not only in England that we're doing this Lift for Life, but we're doing it in Canada. We're doing it in Germany. The only thing different is the charities that they pick. So there's no point having Germany and Canada raising money for a British charity. So they've got their own charities which they're raising money for. So in that sense, they've got their own Just Giving, they've got their own platform, and you can see all this on the Live for Life website.
That's impressive, mate. I really appreciate you sharing that. But one thing I'd like to know is how much of an impact is that having on your body? Because if you're doing it like for 24 hours, wow, that must be some strain on your body.
I don't care.
No?
No,
So,
pain
like,
is weakness leaving the body. That's how it's always been.
yeah, that's what we're told in the military as well.
No, it is. It's genuinely it is. It's
Yeah.
weakness leaving the body. The way I see it is, I'm getting stronger. I push my limits. Like every year, I've smashed my own record. So the first year I did this, I'd done 74,000 kilo. The year after, I did something like 156,000 kilo. Last year, I did 200. So I'm nearly going to push it this year. I'm going to try and double it. So I'm going to go for about 3,800 thousand. So 3,000. So 380,000 kilo. That's what my goal is. And the way I've got
Wow.
to get there is literally doing. So I'm in the heaviest category in weight, which is 160. I'm going to do about 12 reps. No, about 10 reps of 12 sets every hour. So it's basically 10 reps every 5 minutes for the full 24 hours.
So where are you hoping to take this then? Are you like, because you're expanding all the time, like you see, you got
Yeah, I want
people
it to be
raised.
so things like the Ironman. The Ironman is the hardest triathlon you can have. Then you got like what other endurance games there is no other endurance strength games or challenge in the strength world. This is what I want. I want to make it as big as possible, and it's going to be all for suicide prevention. And that won't change at all. I'm looking to actually start my own charity beginning of next year, which will be the Live for Life. And within that charity, what I'm going to try and do is basically help people find a physical outlet for their mental health. So in your case, I would get you a gym membership. I would get you trained. I get you a PT, which is going to look after not only your physical training, it's going to look after your mental well-being. It's going to look after your state of mind. It's going to promote you in that way to find you a goal. So if you wanted to do a high rocks or you wanted to do a bodybuilding show, that's what we pay for. That's what we get you ready to. And I think that's better having a goal at the end of something than having to sit in therapy and just trigger yourself to the point where you want to commit suicide anyway. And that's why I believe that fitness, in my aspect, is the best therapy you can ever do.
Yeah, people don't understand that. They don't
No, but
underestimate.
it doesn't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be weight. It can be like you and your kickboxing. So instead of you just not doing the weights, you would just go into your kickboxing. I would pay for your coaching. I would pay for your membership. I would pay for your gear. I'll get you the right training. I'll get you the right therapy. That's the goal, is to get you into a tournament. Do you know what I
Can you
mean?
do that for me?
But that's
Give me
what I
some
mean.
money.
Yeah, but that's what the charity would do, and it wouldn't just be
Yeah.
doing for everyone. I'd have a team of PTs in all aspects of sport, and they would be the Live for Life team, and they will look at they will look at how you're doing and how your mental health is, and keep you motivated and put you in that goal and say, right, you're in a ring in 6 months. Let's get you there. And that's the goal. And I guarantee you, by the end of that 6 months, your mental state is improved a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when you're really struggling, and you'll probably agree with me, when you're really struggling mentally, just going to the gym to lift some heavy weight. I mean, when I was in a bit of a bad spot, I used to go to the gym and I threw the weight around like with all the pain and aggression I had. It just like detoxed me. It just
Yeah, totally.
relaxed me. And now I found my purpose in the gym, and I'm in there like, I don't know, every single day without fail. I mean, I started my fitness journey back at the early April, back end of March this year, and now I've come on massive amount of gains since then, and I feel so much better from it. So I definitely echo exactly what you're saying. I mean, fitness is a major thing for when it comes to mental health. It helps everyone, and people don't realize that. That you know what I mean? Do you not agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's more
Yeah,
chemical fact as well. The more physical moving you're doing, it's more endorphins released in the body, and that's just a happy hormone.
yeah,
But the problem is if you're having a bad day, yeah, to it's hard to get around that and have that motivation to go back in the gym. So whereas I'm taking that motivation away from your control and putting it in this discipline, you will go to the gym. You will do this. You will do that. This is your path. This is what you got to plan for. This is what your goal is. This is what we're doing. You will have a choice, but it's not going to be. You're going to have someone kicking you up the arse every step of the way. And that's
Yeah.
what
So
that's what it is.
how one thing I want to say, how do you get someone to be motivated if they're really struggling with a mental state and don't want to do anything, and they're not into fitness, they're not into anything? How would you do that?
So it's not. So I understand that everybody is not into fitness, but it's more about finding a physical outlet to suit that person. So it would be a case of what your interests are, what you're doing, and if it's something that we can help you with, then you're ours. It's simple as that. We can't. We probably signpost you onto something else that's a little bit more down. Down like people. Like I know people that paint. So what do we do? We get them involved in the gallery. Sound, I'm happy to do that. Even though it's not a physical outlet, it's a more mental outlet. It's a more mental stimulation. So that's still going to be releasing health hormones. So that's what we want to do. So either
So
way,
what?
we're going to try and get as many people through this as we possibly can.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. So what challenges have you faced so far and since the start of this whole journey?
Uh, mm, Challenges have I faced. Having a lot of walls and doors shut in my face. Because I can't do something because of my arm. I can't do something because of my head. The biggest challenge was believing in myself more than anything. My challenge is, like I said previously, I am more mentally broken than I am physically. So it's more about what I allow myself to do and what I allow myself not to do. Um, and people around me are worried that I am getting so involved in suicide prevention because it triggers me. Um, but it's got to be done. I would rather be triggered.
Yeah, but surely you don't want to put yourself in that position. You want to be.
Yes, I understand that, but it's more about learning how to offer help without putting myself in a bad place, if that makes sense. Um, like I've got friends that have died recently in this year
Yeah,
due to suicide, and they know exactly what I do. And it's like, why didn't you reach out? Why didn't you tell me?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And it's hard to swallow. So now I don't care. I would if I go dark because I'm getting triggered by someone
yeah.
or a situation or memories, then this can't afford to have a stop. It has to keep going.
Yeah, I sense that your ambition is to help others, but do you find that like distracts you by doing that?
Uh, no, it's because I've got. This might sound a bit selfish, but I've got the drive to do it. I've got the motivation to do it. I've got the discipline to do it. If I
Yeah,
want to, if I can help anyone, I will. Um, that's still someone brother, so someone son, daughter, auntie. Do you know what I mean? That they shouldn't be doing that. So it's you could like my whole aspect of this is I don't approach you. I don't approach you with your suicide. I'm trying to tell everybody, check on your mates, ask them if they're
mm.
okay. Because that one friend that might not be. That one friend you ask if they're okay, they might break down and tell you what's going on. That's it, you stopped it. You stopped it. Simple. Um
You, do
Now,
you feel there's any support for veterans? Do you think there's enough support for veterans?
no, not at all.
So how do you think veterans sort of like get themselves through this dark times then, if there's not enough support?
So I have a few veterans that are close to me, and if they even have an inkling that I am going dark, they're around my house giving me a slap. If you know what I mean, and I do the same for them. As
So it's a brotherhood that looks after
brotherhood,
each
as a
other.
brotherhood, it's the brotherhood's strong as anything. The brotherhood is sound. You can't fault the brotherhood. The organisation, they don't help. They don't. And if they go to war again, they're going to have the same problem again in another couple of years' time. Simple as that. They weren't built for the structure and the damage that this Afghan and got caused. They weren't ready for the amount of carnage that was caused. And then next thing they're doing it again. So they're going to have. I hope they put things in place for the new recruits because the new recruits are nowhere near as strong as what we were. Nowhere near. Do you know what I mean? Now, no offense, but they've got gaming calls now. Jesus, do you know what I mean? They've got gaming. You join the army to play games. No, we don't. Do you see what I mean?
Mm.
It's not like it's not like how it used to be, where you had bayonet training for 18 hours. You do it for 3 hours now, maybe not, maybe less. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We were mentally robust and we were still knackered at the end of it. So what are these people going to be like? What's this generation going to be like? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, mate. 100%. So, what do you think? What do you think? Like the difference between this generation and our generation? Well, what do you think's changed?
The snowflakes.
Yeah, but
Simple.
in what respect, though? How would you
Right. So
define any snowflakes?
we got a slap. We got a slap for being disrespectful. We got a slap for being cheeky. We got a slap for doing something wrong. We got a slap for opening our mouths. You know what I mean? That
So
promoted that
the
discipline that
distance
you had
changed.
and respect
Mm.
for others. Yeah, was embedded. Yeah, these have got no respect for themselves, no respect for anybody else. Now, unfortunately, that's what we're sending to war. So at the end of the day, half of them won't even want to go anyway. I got asked the question: "Is do you believe in national service?" I said, "Not a chance." I said, "Why?" I said, "Because when I go to a place like Afghanistan, I want people there that have chose this job, that have known that they were going to do it, and they're ready to take that commitment and make the ultimate sacrifice. You put people in there that are getting made to go, they are liabilities on the battlefield. They always will be. So there's
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
they are definitely not the right people to be going in a war zone with. The ones that all they're bothered about is vaping, no tar.
I think the national service is well and truly outdated now. There's no way they can
Oh
bring
yeah,
it
it
back in
definitely is.
because
But
if
that
those
was just an
exact
example of.
reasons,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
no, I agree. I 100% agree. But what I'm concerned is men of our generation, like we've been through it. We've been on the front line. We've seen some action. But the generation of today, when they go to war, they're not the same caliber as what we are. Now, time and time again, you've seen so many news articles of a veteran taking their own life, time and time again, and people keep saying, "Oh, but just talk," but they don't. So why do you think they can't talk?
Right. I can summarize this in a couple of sentences. As simple as that. Me and you would talk about anything that or everything that we did on tour because you understand, or I know you understand. But trying to say that to a loved one or a family member, they haven't got a clue. So it takes more effort to explain it, and it creates more drama in your own head to explain what each next action means. That you don't do it, they don't understand. Okay, it's like I went and got therapy once, and they turned around, and this civilian turned around to me and said, "I know exactly what you're going through." And I looked at this person, and I was like, "I can doubt it. You do. I very much doubt it. You understand what's going on in my head. Because if you carry on talking to me and asking me questions like that, you're going to fly through the window."
Yeah. You know what? I
So,
think you told me that
do you know
story
what I mean?
before, and yeah, and having
It's like,
experienced it myself, I definitely agree with you.
do you see what I mean? So it's not. It's like you go to any veteran, whether he'd been to Afghan, whether he'd been to Iraq, whether he'd been to the Falklands. Like I talk to people that were in the Falklands War, and it's similar. It's not the same war, but what happened is fucking the same. So you can relate to what you see, what you've done, what you had to do, and what you've seen people do, and all this situation. You can talk about it. You're on the same wavelength. And you
Mm.
might never met that person before in your life, but you'll have more of a conversation with that person than you will with your family member.
Yeah,
And that's,
and
do
yeah,
you
I
know what I
agree,
mean?
mate. Yeah, I agree. So, like, and agree, tell me I'm wrong if you disagree, but I feel when you meet a veteran, doesn't matter who they are, or where they are in the country, if you happen to bump into them and then eventually find out they're a veteran, you're a veteran,
Brothers, simple.
what's the connection like compared to
The
two
brothers,
civilians? What would you think that is?
the brothers. The only way you're describing it to a civilian is you're a Liverpool fan and you travel halfway across the world and you meet another Liverpool fan and you instantly get on because of Liverpool. That's it. So it's like if I met a veteran on, I don't know, I went on holiday and I met a veteran, that's it. We'll be getting drunk together every night. Just,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But you would rather
yeah.
talk to that person than what you would do a family member because they
So
haven't got no idea.
how we came together? We came together on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And Are you still on TikTok?
No, mate, I come off that a long time ago.
Yeah, I thought you left it. But yeah, we came on. We used to have so many nights chatting and just such a laugh online. And we used to pull a lot more veterans in just from the banter alone that we were having. And before long, we had a group of veterans that were in there on a daily basis
Then when
chatting.
we
And
had that Walter on,
yeah, then we had the Walt. Now, for the viewers that don't know what a Walt is, it's someone that pretends that they've served in the military and never served, and they're just a civilian that pretends that he used to be in the army. But when a guy that claims that he's served and he's a Walter, a Mitty, then veterans that have served a long time and been on the front line and been on deployments around the world, they get really agitated. We don't like it. It's frowned upon. Because I remember this guy that came onto our live, and what were you like, Mark, with him? You were like, whoa, good job you were on the other side of the screen, because I swear to God, if you were in person with him, I think you'd probably have a upside down ring on his neck. But you know, that was some fun times. It was though, wasn't it? The guy was petrified when you were like pop having a go at him. It was like he quickly got off as quick as he got on the live. But oh man, that's funny. Anyway, what one to ask you is, do you know when you left the military, were you in a solid relationship, or did you leave as a single guy, or
oh no, I
how
was
did that?
married at the time.
Yeah, so what happened there? How much of an impact did that have with when you got medically discharged from the army, on the relationship and the marriage and stuff?
Uh, See, that for me, my situation with it was very unique. I understand that most people that leave the army have a full broken down relationship, whereas my relationship was already broken down. And then a situation happened where it destroyed the family. Um, yeah, and there was no coming back from that. I was told to kill myself and a lot of bad things, which I really wouldn't want to, go over that again on the radio. But uh, my situation I was in was very unique, and like I said, it nearly destroyed everyone. You know what I mean? So
Was that the impact of the military lifestyle, or was that just
no,
something
that was
completely
not.
different?
That had nothing to do with the military lifestyle.
Okay. I
Like I
mean,
said,
statistically, a lot of guys when they leave the military, they find a partner when they're serving, and when they leave from a medical discharge or a long service or whatnot, the partner can't handle them being at home all the time, and then suddenly it
yeah,
just becomes really toxic and unfriendly, and then suddenly they just leave them with nothing.
no, I
And
was.
the veteran, become a veteran, literally going through a hardship of not having a house, not having a family, not having anything to call home because the partners took everything. Um, but in your case, it was very similar, but not related to the military.
Yeah,
So, but it
it
does.
was.
Would you agree that that
Oh
is
no,
the
definitely. I
norm?
definitely agree. My
Yeah.
situation was very different. Like I said, it was very unique, and I wouldn't wish that situation on anyone. Um, but no, I do get that a lot of lads leave, and they can't function in military life, and the family life is what pays the toll, really. And then the realization of the change needs to happen.
So basically, your life then, obviously, you've come from a bad sort of like background, joining the military, and then you've had what seemed a drunken time in the military, and you've gone through all that, and you've served on the front line. You've had an unfortunate incident where you've sacrificed the use of your arm, and then you were about to just call it quits, and then you seen someone in a less fortunate position than you, and they were doing things incredibly, and it's inspired you to do what you're doing. And now look at you. You are putting things together. You've got Live for Life, and you've got massive competition on the 27th of December, which is
Yeah,
a Live for Life. Is that right?
yeah, the
Where's
24
that
hour
where's that
deadlift.
going to be? Where's that going to be aired?
So that's just it, Caesar. You can do this in your gym.
Yeah.
All you
So
need,
anyone can take part.
anyone can do this. Anyone.
What?
So it's more about creating a massive community. So I think I think there's a couple of gyms close to you that are doing it.
Mm.
So I'll have to send you them. If you want to go and do it, bro, go and do it.
Yeah, I'll definitely
Uh,
do that, mate. Yeah, you know me,
um,
mate. I'll
oh,
definitely do it.
exactly. But you could do this anywhere in England. You can do it in your own gym. You can do it in your own home. You can do it anywhere. All you need at the end of it, all you need is a camera, internet connection, and you'll be invited to a mass community on a live stream where you'll have different locations, different people, and we all just stand there for 24 hours and be stupid and lift weights for like on a deadlift. So yeah,
That's the day after Boxing Day, right?
yeah,
Most people are suffering with a hangover.
I won't be. I don't drink, so
Neither do I. I'm teetotal as well. That's great. Teetotal brothers, both.
exactly.
um, so, what would you say to your younger self, mate? If if you had the chance to talk to your younger self and tell them any advice, what would you say?
Don't change your step.
No. So
No,
you've you've achieved everything that you wanted to achieve and more, and you are happy with everything that you've done so
I
far.
have to be. I have to
Mm.
be because this is the path that's been put in front of me. I'm not gonna. I don't look at it and go, well, I should have done that better. Should have done this. Should have done that. At hindsight, not a chance. I am
Exactly my
literally.
mindset, mate. I say the same thing.
Yeah, this is my path. This is what I'm on, and whatever decision I make will steer the next path. So that's what I'm doing.
No, that's incredible, mate, and I'm really pleased to hear that because you know what? I have the same sort of mindset as that, mate. Because I always say, what positivity you put in the universe, they give you the same back. And I believe that your life is already mapped out, and the universe just steers you on course, and you're just going down that path. That's the way I see it. So just you don't stop, just keep going. Never change anything, and you're just doing exactly that. And I'm really proud of you, mate, for what you achieved. And I just think it's phenomenal. And you still inspire me now after all this time. Well,
Hey, well, I'll be picking on you to come and do this lift. I'm telling you that now.
I know you probably will be on the buzzer when you tell me to come
Yeah.
on, get my ass out of bed. Um, so what I want to ask you though, mate, is if someone if someone wanted to join the army, what would you say to them if they want to join? Would you say it's a good career to have, or would you say, well, you might not want to do this, or you might think about this, or what would you say to someone that wants to join the army but doesn't know?
What would I say to someone who wants to join the army? Depending on the relationship I have with them, it is a good life. And I'm not gonna take that from the army. It is a good life. It's not a job. It is a lifestyle. You need to adapt that lifestyle to be good at your job. Would I allow my son to do it? Not a chance. Because he's seen what it did to me, and I wouldn't want that for him. Um, but I also think that would make him a stronger person. Um, so yeah, it depends on how you look on it in the army back when we were joining. Yes, he would have joined. He'd have been a hardened person. Do you know what I mean? Nowadays, I wouldn't trust him to go to the NAFI by himself. Do you see
Oh,
what I mean?
bless him. Bless
No,
him.
but you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. But man, you got to encourage other people to join the military, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
the numbers are dropping.
well, it's not about that for me. It's more about if you choose to join the army, it needs to be your choice. It can't be because your dad was there, your granddad was there. It needs to be your choice. Um, if, like I said to you before, if they give me the opportunity to go back and do what I was doing, would I do it? I would say yes. However, I need to think now about my life situation that I'm in now. If that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. To fight for your country is an honour. To
I
fight for the
agree with that.
blokes around you, to the left, to the right of you, behind you, in front of you, that's the real honour. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You know, when I left the military, I felt like I didn't have any sort of purpose anymore. I didn't feel like I mattered, and I really struggled to adjust. And it's only now, after a couple of years down the line, I'm just sort of like now finding it comfortable to be in civilian life. Although I'm not where I want to be yet, I've still got some time to get there. But I've got things in place I'm looking forward to. Um,
Just look on the
but
positive of everything, bro. Even if it's a bad day, you need to find that positive.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. But what I want to say, mate, is you've got this competition coming up, Live for Life on the 27th of December. Um, is when's the next one from there?
So I've got big competitions all next year. I've got Iceland in February, then I'll have England's in around March, April time. Then I'll have I'll have the Worlds at some point. Then I'll have Britain's in late August, and then I'll have the Highland Games in August, and till I've 2 in August. I'll have the May Games and the Stirling Games, unless you get any more games. So I done pretty much that when it comes to competing.
Yeah.
I've got a little devil on my shoulder saying I need to stop and slow down, but she ain't gonna.
Just never will, will it?
No, I don't think it'll ever will. But she's more worried about my well-being than anything else because I don't stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like she looks after me massively. So you know what I mean? She's worried about me to the point where I break, which I don't think
Yeah. No,
I could
I
ever
get
break.
that. But I'm looking to come up north in the new year, so maybe I could catch up with you and have a training session, and then you can beast me again.
Leg day.
Well, no way, leg day. I hate it.
It doesn't matter what day it is, leg day.
But I want to say, Mark, mate, it's been an absolute honor to have you on the show. I'm really proud of all your achievements and how much you've inspired me over the years and continue to inspire me. But I just want to quickly ask you if one final message, mate. What would you say to anyone that wants to do what you want to do, that looks up to you now? Because a lot of people look up to you. But what advice would you give them to do what you're doing? Because it's not easy to get where you are. You've put your body
No,
through so much stuff.
it's a lot of you got to be disciplined. You got to be you wake up on them bad days and you got to drag yourself. You got to drag yourself out of it. You got to I'll pull anybody out of a pit, but you got to be able to pull yourself out as well. And just don't rely on anyone. Do it yourself. Go for it yourself. You can only blame yourself then if you don't get it, and never look at it twice. If you ever need to look at something twice, it's not worth doing. You should be looking at it and get it done.
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's all about drive. Once you've got that motivation and discipline, it'll take over. It will take over completely.
Absolutely. Thanks, mate. I just want to appreciate your time there. I just want to echo the fact that he has a competition, the Lift for Life, deadlift 24 hours on the 27th of December. Where's it going to be aired, mate?
So it's going to be aired all over the Lift for Life.
YouTube?
No, it's going to be on YouTube. It's also going to be on Lift for Life on Instagram. All over Facebook. We're trying to put it over all the platforms as we possibly can. If you want any information, find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, Live for Life, Facebook's Mark Tonner. If you want to have a look at the website and have a look what it's all about, it's the liveforlife.co. Sorry, the liveforlife.uk. Just have a look what it's all about. And like I said, you don't have to be an athlete to do this, to take part in this. It could be, it's for anyone and everyone.
Well, there you have it. From Mark Tonner himself, you got to listen in and join in, take part, support him where you can. What an absolute legend Mark Tonner is. Oh my God, 5 times world's strongest man.
Four
Sorry, 4 times. England's 5 times.
Britain's.
Britain's. I get it right. Thank you, mate. I really.
Thank you for listening to our guest stories this week.
Dream Catcher Radio.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place and time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. Because there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was wrong. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough, well, we know better. Just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. 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 Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You know that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You know that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong.
Hello, it's Steve Little here, station manager, Dreamcatcher Radio. Boy, oh boy, what can I say? Just over 12 weeks we've been running. We now accumulated 7,000 plus listeners every week. And every week we're accumulating 500 unique listeners to the station. We've now got 3 brand new presenters, which totals 28 amazing and dedicated presenters making up our amazing team. That means we've got 28 genres of shows. We've had countless hard-hitting and explosive interviews. We've had over 250,000 hits on our website. We do regular events and outside broadcasts. We support charities. And we are living by the mission statement of the station, empowering expression and enhancing society. And all this is because of you and for you, our listeners. Keep it locked in to Dreamcatcher Radio, and thank you.
Dreamcatcher.